Welcome to episode 10 of Refashion series, the overall dress. This dress I got at Savers for half off. I think I spent about $5 on it. It was a fantastic color, and I do love overalls, but it really needed to be updated. So I made a few alterations to make it look like this. My favorite part is the bow on the back, but I also like that it's casual and easy to wear, and it has so many pockets that make my mom life so much easier. So let's get started with the alterations. Now, working with the overall dress presented a few issues, mainly because of the hardware, like these spots right here on the pockets. If I wanted to remove the pockets, that hardware would leave giant holes. So I have to leave that in there. So what I'm doing to make it smaller is closing the back seam in a little bit tighter, and then I'm going to create this V on the back, and then my design plan, of course, is to put the bow right here on the top. Here's that back seam opened. I've pinned it where I want it to fit on me. I'm going to sew down that line, and I've also put it on, and I'm marking with tailor's chalk exactly where I want the new hem to be. Once I mark it, I walk over to my mirror and double check that it's where I want it to be, because it can be hard to get accurate when you're bending over. So I found exactly where I want it to be, and I'm cutting it now using my rotary cutter, a ruler, and my cutting mat. I have to be very precise because I need all this excess fabric. I've seam ripped the bottom of the hem, the original hem. I'm folding it in half, and I'm going to cut it in half lengthwise right now so that I can create belt ties to go around the waist to help accentuate the shape of the dress. And I want them to be exactly the same size. That's why I'm being really careful on how I'm cutting it. Now I'm going to fold those in half, long or lengthwise again, and sew down the side. Now, here's kind of what I've decided with this belt piece. So I'm using a D-ring. It's a piece of hardware you can get at Joann's. And I'm pinning it on the side, kind of above the buttons. It's a little bit stuck here, but you can see I've pinned it right here on this side. It's gonna wrap around the back and then connect with the D belt ring in the front. And I'm pinning it on this side as well. So there's two different straps. They wrap around and connect in the front. And then on top of that, I have also looked at the back, and I'm working on that V shape, and it's coming along really nicely. I'm just going to fold those in and sew right over them. At this point, I'm removing the excess fabric from that back seam using some pinking shears to prevent any fraying. I've also hemmed the bottom, or serged the bottom, so that I can just flip up those ends and hem it without having to worry about the raw edges again. Here is the back. It's pinned or clipped, and I'm using my ruler just to verify that each side is the same width at the same point so that it will look nice and symmetrical. This is how I'm attaching my belt piece. I'm lining it up on the edge of the overall, matching it with each seam, and I'm going to sew directly right over the original seam lines. I was lucky enough to have enough fabric to create the bow after I attached my belt pieces. And to do that, I just flip in these ends like that. Make sure I use some fray check so they don't fray. Flip it over, pinch it, and then I'll wrap a piece of fabric around the middle, like so. To give it a little bit more extra support, I've attached this strap of fabric. Also, please don't mind the naked dress forms in the back right there. And I'm just gonna hand sew this right on top of that, and I'm finished. Once again, here's the dress we began with, an awesome thrifted find for about $5 from Savers. And here's what we ended up with, a super fun bow-backed overall dress that is fantastic with all of its pockets and its ability to be worn with tons of different things. If you like this video, please follow along, comment, subscribe, and you can always find me at Carametta.